Hello all, welcome to our channel. We in our channel are presenting the entire course for APFC, EO and AO examination, wherein we will cover the syllabus for the prescribed examination. I am Shilpa Nagaraju, who will be covering the syllabus of Indian art and culture through series of videos which will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. So please subscribe to us and follow us for more videos with regarding to your UPSC, APFC, EO, AO examinations. A little about me. I have 6 years teaching experience online and offline. I have completed my master's in public administration and pursuing my PhD. I've given my UPSC CSE interview and I've also qualified for UGC NET. I have a total of 6 years experience in the government sector. In our previous classes, we had studied about the art and architecture of the Indus Valley civilization, the Mauryan period, and also the post-Mauryan period. Today, in our video, we are going to learn about the Guptan art and architecture. So the Guptan Empire, as we see in the map here, comprises mostly from the north and northwestern part of India, eastern India, and the central India. So almost a major part of the subcontinent was under the threshold of the Guptan Empire. The Guptan architecture is a representation of the people's strong religious convictions during the time. The golden period of Indian architecture is typically referred to as the beginning of the Gupta Empire in the 4th century AD. While the older Gupta monarchs were Buddhists who preserved Buddhist architectural traditions, temple building rose to prominence under the patronage of the later Gupta rulers who were Hindus. Similarly, during the Gupta period, Buddhist and Jain art achieved their pinnacle. So in this video, we will explain to you the concepts related to Gupta architecture which will be helpful for you in the Indian art and culture preparation for your UPSC, APFC, EO and AO examinations. So the Gupta architecture marks the beginning of the Guptan Empire in the 4th century AD and is considered as the golden period of Indian architecture. We also know that the early Gupta monarchs were Buddhists. They patronaged the architecture and art of Buddhist religion. Temple construction gained prominence under the sponsorship of the later Gupta rulers who were Hindus and they were following the Brahmanical faith. The early Gupta kings were Buddhists and they conserved the Buddhist architectural traditions. Temple building rose to prominence under the patronage of the later Gupta rulers who were Hindus. The Gupta kings were Brahmanical rulers, especially in the later phases. They, on the other hand, displayed exceptional religious tolerance. Vishnu was worshipped in the northern and central parts of India, Shiva in the southern section and Shakti in the eastern part of India, as well on the Malabar coast in the southwest of India. So if we speak of Guptan art and architecture, we have to learn mainly of the cave architecture and also the phases of temple construction. The architectural development of caves remained consistent during the Gupta period, which initially started from the Mauryas and also continued in the post-Mauryan period. The utilization of mural paintings on the cave walls, on the other hand, became an extra element here. The caves of Ajanta and Ellora have some of the best examples of mural art. So here in the picture, I have given you an image of Ajanta caves, which is in the Aurangabad district of Maharashtra. So, cave architecture and temple construction during the Gupta period forms a very, very important topic for your examination, and you can also expect questions framed from here. Let's talk about the Ajanta caves. These are the Ajanta caves. Yesterday also we learnt about the Ajanta caves. I'm reminding you there will be continuity between the post-Mauryan and the Guptan period because there are many additions. So I'm repeating the context of Ajanta caves, Ellora caves, Bagh caves, etc., which also came in the post-Mauryan period. So have patience and please don't think it is waste of time. You have to revise all these topics. It comes under different headings, but there are additions and deletions with the period. So let's get back to our topic, that is Ajanta caves. It is a group of rock cut caves which is near Aurangabad, Maharashtra, amidst the Sahyadri ranges on the Waghora River. Total of 29 caves, of which 25 were utilized as viharas and 4 were used as chaityas. So, in recall from the yesterday's class that chaityas were the prayer halls and viharas were the residential complexes which were built for the monks of the Shramana tradition. The Shramana tradition was Buddhism and Jainism. So between 200 BC and 650 AD, the caves were constructed. The Buddhist monks inscribed Ajanta caves under the patronage of the Vakataka rulers. One of them was Harishena. The figures in these caves were painted with frescoes and exhibited a high level of naturalism. The colors were created from local plants and minerals. The paintings outlines were painted in red and then the insides were painted. The absence of blue in the paintings is one of the most remarkable elements. So this is about Ajanta caves, very, very important caves. It is mainly composed of the Buddhist traditions. The next one is Ellora Caves. This is also very famous for its cave architecture. It's almost 100 kilometers from the Ajanta caves in the Maharashtra's Sahyadri Hills. It consists of 34 caves, 17 of which are Brahmanical, 12 Buddhist, and 5 Jain. These caves were built by numerous guilds from Vidarbha, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Please remember, guilds were the group of merchants which sold or trade different commodities throughout India and also outside the Indian subcontinent. As a result of these buildings by numerous guilds, in the topic of in the terms of architectural styles, the caves represents a natural diversity. So this is the Ellora caves. The image shows you the Ellora caves. Move on to Bagh caves. You can see the image showing the Bagh caves. It is in Madhya Pradesh on the river banks of Bagh rivers. It is a set of 9 Buddhist caves formed around the 6th century AD. It has a similar architectural style to the Ajanta caves. So the next is Junagadh caves. These are the Buddhist caves which are located in Gujarat's Junagadh region. Although there are no caves here, 3 separate places can be located in this Junagadh place which is in Gujarat. Kapra Kodia, Baba Pyare and Upparkot are the 3 sites found in this Junagadh caves. The presence of 30 to 50 feet high fortress, which is known as Upparkot in front of the prayer hall, is a distinctive feature of the Junagadh caves. The next topic is Nasik caves, and it is in Maharashtra. Here we have a Pandavleni cave. It is referring to a series of 24 Buddhist caves in this Nashik. They were created in the 1st century AD during the Hinayana period of Buddhism. Later, though, the Mahayana sect's impact may be seen in this cave. So, the main religion which is portrayed in the Nashik caves is Buddhism. His presence is expressed in the Hinayana sect through the usage of motifs and symbols such as throne and footprints. Later on, the Buddhist idols were sculpted inside these caves, which indicates the Mahayana Buddhism's impact. The site of Nasik caves also shows a superb water management system as evidenced by the presence of water tanks which is carved out of solid rocks. So the Nasik region of Maharashtra is also drought prone and they have this super water management system which was practiced back in the 1st century AD itself. So please remember these mainly represent the Buddhist religion. Next important caves is Mandapeshwar caves. It is also known as Montpelier caves, located in Borivali near Mumbai, Maharashtra. So mainly it's a Brahmanical cave and carved during the later Gupta dynasty. So in the beginning itself, I told you the later Guptas were, were the Brahmanical and the older Guptas or the earlier Guptas were Buddhists. This was later transformed into a Christian cave. That's why the name the Montpelier Caves. Here you can see the sculptures of Hindu deities, that is Nataraja, Sadashiva, Ardhanarishwara in this site ruins. So above this cave you have the presence of church and a graveyard. So it was a Brahmanical cave and was patronaged during the later Gupta dynasty, but later it was transformed into a Christian cave. The next, which we saw yesterday too, the post-Mauryan period topic, the Udayagiri caves. It should not be confused with Odisha's Udayagiri Khandagiri caves. This Udayagiri caves is in Madhya Pradesh, Vidisha district. The patronage for this Udayagiri caves, which is in Madhya Pradesh, was Chandragupta II of the Guptan dynasty in the early 5th century AD. Very famous for its sculptures on the hill walls. You find Varaha or Vishnu's boar incarnation and has a renowned sculptures. One of the earliest Hindu sculptures may be found in the caverns. Then, so after the cave architecture, the next important architecture we have to study under the Guptan period is the stupas. As I told you or mentioned in the earlier slides that the earlier Guptan rulers were Buddhists and they patronaged the Buddhist architecture, while the older or the later Guptan rulers became Brahmanical and the development of stupas slowed during this period. There is a stupa in Sarnath near Varanasi, that is Dhamek Stupa, and is an excellent example of stupa built during the time of Guptans. So here I have given an image of Dhamek Stupa. It is in Sarnath. So they believe that after reaching enlightenment, Buddha is claimed to have given his first sermon to his first 5 students, which was led by Kaundinya, revealing his eightfold path leading to Nirvana at this Dhamek Stupa, which is in Sarnath. Okay, so please remember this Dhamek Stupa, which was built during the Guptan period, and they say Buddha gave his first sermon here to his first 5 students after reaching enlightenment. Next, we will learn about the sculptures of this Buddhist period. Sarnath School of Sculpture, it is near Sarnath, was added to the list of sculptural development of Guptan period. So many Buddha pictures in Sarnath have plain translucent drapery. It covers both the shoulders and a sparsely ornamented halo around the head. If you remember or recall your memory, yesterday we said that halo around the head is a feature of which school of art? Please mention in the comment section. The halo around the Buddha represents which school of art or sculpture, which was told you in the previous class. So here in the Sarnath school of sculpture, you have Buddha wearing clothes, but it is very plain and translucent. The Mathura Buddha images retain the folds of the drapery. The halo around the head is lavishly embellished. A notable example of this Sarnath school of sculpture is Sultanganj Buddha, which is 7.5 feet in height. This is the Sultanganj Buddha. So we saw the cave architecture, we saw the construction of stupa and sculptures of Guptan period. Let's see and concentrate on this temple architecture. The beginning of Indian temple architecture may be traced back to the Guptan dynasty. There were manuals created on how to build temples. So here the Guptan temples were divided into 5 important categories, means like the 5 different phases of construction or the development of temple architecture, which was traced back to the Guptan dynasty, patronaged by the Brahmanical rulers of the Guptan dynasty. So here we will see the first phase of this temple construction. The best example for this is Kankali Devi temple in Tigawa and Vishnu Varaha temple in Iran. So they were having the square buildings with flat roofs and shallow pillared porches. For the first time, the sanctum or the cella, which is called the Garbhagriha, of the temple with a single entrance and a porch appears. Porch means the mantapa. So here, please understand, they were simple square building and they had a flat roof and shallow pillared porches. So for the first time, we had a Garbhagriha where the deity resided, and the temple had a single entrance and a mantapa. So the mantapa was shallow pillared. Very simple construction during the first phase. Remember, square building, flat roof, there was a porch or mantapa, it had shallow pillars. There was a Garbhagriha which housed the main deity, and the temple had a single entrance. Okay, here in the image you can see the Kankali Devi temple. The second phase is an extension of the previous form with the addition of an ambulatory surrounding the shrine, often a second level. So the first phase was simple, a square building with a flat roof. Here in the second phase, you have the Pradakshina Pata like we had in the stupas. In the Sanchi stupa, we had this ambulatory Pradakshina Pata. So in the second stage of the Guptan construction, architectural or temple construction period, we have the presence of this Pradakshina Pata. The best examples were Shiva temple in Bhumara and Lad Khan at Aihole. Parvati temple in Nachna Kutara is also another notable example. Please have a look at the temple here. This is a Shiva temple in Bhumara. Third phase temple example is the Shavatara temple at Deoghad in Jhansi, Madhya Pradesh, and the brick temple at Bittargaon, Kanpur are famous example of this. So it was also a square temple with a low and squat shikara or tower. Shikara means the tower. So in the first phase, you had no tower on the temple. In the second phase too, you had no tower. But in the third phase, you have the shikaras. The pillared approach was given like a on the high platform base. You had this temple here, and all you don't have that example here. Low platform here. It started with a platform but not that high, but here in the third phase you have a very high platform as the base, and on that you have a temple which is square, and a low and squat tower of shikara is seen. The curvilinear tower or the shikara was the most remarkable achievement of the third phase development of temples. The temple construction in the Nagara style is regarded to be the third stage's triumph. So, in the third phase of Guptan temple architecture, we consider as the main style of Nagara, style of temple construction to be arriving. The next is the fourth phase of temple construction. We can see that in Kapoteshwara temple in Cesarla, which is in Krishna district. Here you see the rectangular temple, unlike the square temple which you saw in the previous three phases, and a barrel vaulted roof above. Look at the roof above and look at the roof here. You have the barrel vaulted roof above in the fourth phase. In the fifth phase, you have the circular temples with shallow rectangular projections on the four cardinal faces. The Manyar Mutt shrine in Rajgir of Bihar is the sole monument that exemplifies the form, and mostly this phase was seen in the eastern parts of the country. So to conclude, between 320 to 550 CE or Common Era, the Guptan Empire ruled over the northern, central, southern, and the western part of India. The achievements in the arts, architecture, sciences, religion, and philosophy are well known during this time period. Chandragupta I, who was during 320 to 335 Common Era, began the Guptan Empire's rapid development, and he quickly established himself as the empire's first autonomous ruler. It signaled the end of 500 centuries of regional power dominance and the resulting unrest which began with the Maurya's fall. So it marked the start of a period of overall wealth and expansion that lasted for the following 2.5 centuries and is known as India's Golden Age. So, in the Guptan period of art and architecture, you have to remember the cave architecture, the different caves, that is Ajanta caves, Ellora caves, Bar caves, etc. And the stupa construction and the sculpture of Sarnath, and also the temple construction phases which I showed you in the previous slides. So please subscribe to our channel and keep following us for more and more videos, and we will be completing the entire syllabus prescribed for the UPSC, EPFC and EOAO examinations. This is also helpful for you for your UPSC CSE preparation. Thank you so much. Like and share our videos, and we will meet in our next class. Thank you.